Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabriel, and today we're doing another twin flame energy reading. This reading is meant to be timeless, so no matter when you find it, no matter where you're at on your journey, there is a message for you here. So today we're going to be pulling from The Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish. And I've already shuffled, so let's just go ahead and dive in. So the first card is Divination. And what I really feel from this is that we all have a level of intuition, right, that we have from God. We all have intuition that God gives us of what our next step is, what is true, what is peaceful, what our next steps are. We all have access to that when we really tune into ourselves, when we really choose to listen to God. We have that available to us. And so if you're ever wondering, especially on your twin flame journey, what do I do next, or where is it that I need to go to heal, one of your biggest indicators is your feelings. And it's not that you get a crystal ball out, what am I feeling? Or you pull a card, what am I feeling? Pulling cards can be helpful to bring out that feeling within, but you really have to do the work to choose to feel your feelings and go to those places. And say where, I don't understand what's going on my twin flame journey. I don't understand what my twin flame is showing me. You have to go within. You have to go to that place in your heart that is calling for love, that place in your consciousness that is calling for love. You have to go to those spaces, and that will actually naturally lead you in kind of your intuitive space. I know when I first started the journey, I was like, how do I know? Like, how do I get these downloads from God? Like, I was very non-spiritual, very non-woo-woo before this. And when I had my awakening, it was kind of like, well, how do I really understand and follow God? How do I knowingly do that? It felt like it was kind of random. It felt like it was like, oh, well, sometimes I'll get downloads, but I don't know how to tap into that. And it's really just, you want to tap into your feelings, and you will get those like little nudges from God of your intuition, and like you'll get a feeling about things. God is primarily communicating with you through feeling. So make sure you're in touch with those things, and you'll have your next steps always. And you don't need to see the full picture, and you just want to trust your intuition. You want to trust that good feeling and follow it. All right. The next card is Song of the Siren, the call, summoning voice to acknowledge. So again, this is kind of you're being called to the journey. You're being called to be doing something, right? God is always speaking with you. God is always giving you your next step. And he can't give you 5 steps from now if you haven't taken the first step. And so, learn to answer that call of God. And God will make it very clear of like, hey, you need to go do these things. Hey, this thing needs to happen. And if you don't hear it the first 10 times, God will keep saying it over and over and over again. And it will get louder and louder and louder. You need to go in this direction. You need to go in this direction. You need to go in this direction. God will show you in many different ways until you finally understand. And you can choose to understand God. You can choose to understand. You can ask God for a very clear sign that you can't miss. But you really want to listen to those feelings. You really want to listen to the things that God's showing you. And maybe God is just asking you to explore, but surrender to what God is asking you to explore. Maybe God is like, hey, go down the street and go get a bagel. And you're like, I don't understand how that's related to my twin flame journey, God. I don't need a bagel right now. But God is asking you to go down the street to get a bagel because you need to run into this person who is maybe your twin flame. Or you need to run into this person and have this experience and do all these other things. So don't dismiss these little nudges that God gives you, because God sees the bigger purpose for what he's asking you to do. So answer that call. All right, the next card is Experiments. manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in pursuit of knowledge, arrogance. And I don't really get manipulation of nature in experiments. Like, this card to me, like, I'm not really sure that I like the way they describe it. I don't really like this card. Like, honestly, I just pulled this. I've never seen this before in my life. And I'm like, I don't really like this card. But it is a 33. I will say that. There is something here. So what I really feel like this is don't control the way that you need. The process is really what it comes through, because experiments and exploration is encouraged on the twin flame journey. You want to explore the areas that God is leading you into. The way you discover yourself is by going through exploration, by say, hey, I'm interested in this thing, and you going all in on it. I want to be a motorboat salesman. I don't know why this came up. I watched Loki last night. Anyway, I want to be a motorboat salesman. And you go all in, and you're like, I want to learn everything there is to know about motorboats. And you do that, and you're like, no, not actually for me. Like, it's not something that I really want to do. It's interesting, not cool. Not really want to. I don't really want to do it, right? And the same thing is like with your life purpose. You go all in and you like explore there. And if you find like, hey, there's something here for me, you keep going. But you don't want to control it. You don't want to try to control yourself to, oh, I'm going to experiment, so I have to do this thing now for the rest of my life. That's something that I've had trouble doing in my journey. Is it's kind of like I have a tendency to be like, oh, I have to commit to this forever if I even explore it. And that's not how you want to approach things, because that's really, intense, right? Like, it's kind of this way of thinking of like, oh, if I major in something in college, I have to be like all into it and I have to make it a career, even if I hate it. And that's kind of a trap, really. Because it's like, oh, well, I didn't like this. I thought I was going to like it, and I got into it, and I didn't like it. No, oh no, I've wasted time, I've wasted money. Like, all these upsets around school and interests and things like that, right? But you really want to open yourself to explore. You can't control if you like things or not. You can't control if, like, hey, I'm interested in this, and then I went deeper into it, and I didn't like it. Or maybe I really like this thing, and I'm being called into it, and I want to keep going. So allow God to lead your exploration. Allow yourself to move in the direction of the good feeling. And when it no longer feels good, when that door closes, you really want to honor that and just go with that flow instead of trying to force yourself into something that you're not interested in. So, again, don't really like the ominous thing of this card, but really I feel like it's just saying, don't control your journey, just allow yourself to explore and discover yourself in a natural way. All right, the next card, visions, psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing, out-of-body travel. All of these cards are really just kind of like about following your intuition. A lot of people, have visions when they complete a mirror exercise, when you go deeper into your healing. And those visions are meant to give you your next step, or meant to give you an insight about the lesson that you just learned. So the more you heal, the deeper you go into healing, the more access to that insight you will have, the more access to that awareness that you will have. Whether you have a vivid vision, or you just have a little insight, or you just have a nugget of realization there, go deeper into your healing is how you're going to have these like clairvoyant moments, how you're going to have more clarity in your intuition. And you can strengthen those too, but with meditation and things like that. But healing is the primary way you're going to go deeper into connecting with those gifts. All right. And the next card, bottom of the deck, is vulnerability. Open your heart. Allow yourself to be tender. Feels very twin flamey. This is a very twin flamey card. This is cute. I've never seen this before. Look, I've only used this deck twice in my entire life. But yeah, this card is, really telling me like you want to be vulnerable in your pursuit of yourself and in your pursuit of your twin flame. All these things are saying like follow your intuition, experiment, explore yourself, follow the call of God, and being vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to really open. You can't force yourself to open, but you want to relax into a space where you feel safe in vulnerability. And if you don't feel safe currently, that's okay, but you want to love yourself there and give yourself what you need to feel safe in being vulnerable with yourself, with God, and with your twin flame. Because that's where you're going to see the most progress. And that's how you're going to reveal yourself to yourself. If you're not allowing yourself to open and really be vulnerable even with God and yourself, you're not going to be able to have access to, your intuition on the level that you desire. You're not going to be able to explore and really discover yourself if you don't allow yourself to open and explore those places in your heart. Because that's where you keep your true desires. That's where you're really gonna connect with yourself and find who you are, is opening your heart and connecting there. So vulnerability is really a superpower in this space, and it's actually a place of strength. I think people think that vulnerability means, oh, I'm going to be hurt, I'm going to be attacked, I'm going to be harmed. But it really is a place of true love and just a place of strength. Because when you feel that vulnerability, you're really moving into your true divine nature, your true divine strength. Because God is very vulnerable. God is very open. God is very just open to us all. But God isn't ever, in danger of being hurt. And neither are we. So we want to be able to open ourselves, to God, and to your twin flame. And when it makes sense, right? You still want to have boundaries. If your twin flame, you have blocks with your twin flame, you want to have boundaries. You don't want to be vulnerable with people who are out, who are choosing ego and are, you don't need to be open with everyone, but you want to be vulnerable, at least with yourself and at least with God. And that will lead you to these deeper explorations of self that you're calling in. So yeah, this is very inner, it feels like this week. It's very like follow your intuition, learn about yourself. But this is a valuable step in claiming your twin flame, is really getting to know yourself, really getting to know yourself at the juicy core. So you have to be able to be vulnerable, be open, and be honest with yourself. So very lovely message for today, and I thank you all for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. If you'd like your own personalized reading to understand what's going on in your life, or if you'd like one-on-one support to help you through these blocks and help you come into this deeper awareness of yourself, then you can find my services at sacredtwinflameunion.com, and I will see you all in the next video.